grade school, elementary school to high school because of the learning gaps that are sometimes very hard to fill, and that if we spent more time in those VPK, pre-K preparation areas, we would have much greater success and outcomes. And he used a Dr. Phil kind of a quote, which I'm not a big Dr. Phil fan, but it made sense that, and he said the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And it talked, and that strikes to the heart of, if we can prepare children early enough and get them on the right track, their chances of success are so much greater. And this from an educator of that really seems to get it about his his care for kids and how they come to him and how he turns them out at the end. So I appreciate your comments, and I think we'll be trying to look at, more at addressing, because unless you prepare them better to go to the colleges or universities, it'll give them a better chance of getting there. It doesn't matter what we do for colleges and universities if they don't have the students, the majority of the students that would have a chance to go ready and prepared to go there. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to also thank Art for the comments and material, and thank Representative Ahern for those very thoughtful comments. Sometimes a little healthy competition is a good thing, and it was helpful to me to see the information you provided us to see how we stack up against our neighbor, the great state of Alabama. And obviously there's room for us to improve in this area. And what I thought was particularly interesting about the information you provided in our packet from the state of Alabama is the involvement of Alabama's business community and the recognition by their business community of the importance of early childhood education. And I think that is something that our business community also recognizes and would like to see the legislature make it a priority. Thank you.
Representative Newton.
Yes, also echo those concerns. I serve on the HIPPY board, which is home instruction for parents of preschool youth, and I know firsthand the value of early intervention. The most critical years in a child is from 0 to 5 years old for brain development. And if we don't make an investment now, we will be building more jails and funding more other programs that are not beneficial to our community or our county. So this is good stuff. I live it, I know it, and I appreciate all the work you do. And also the Louise Graham, that was a huge thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Freddie, down to number 4, Freddie Williams, tab 6, Boys and Girls Club, Suncoast. And while he's coming, let me just sort of remind everyone we have 23 more presenters. We have a little under an hour and a half left to go, and I'm going to get through all of them, so we need to pick up the pace. Mr. Williams.
Mr. Chair, members of the delegation, thank you for this opportunity to present in front of you. I'm Freddie Williams, and first and foremost, I'm a proud product and alumni of Boys and Girls Club. It's my absolute privilege to be able to serve as a leadership capacity as your new president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Sunny Coast. I'm here just to give you a quick update to thank you for your continued support and partnership of the Boys and Girls Clubs here locally. We have 6 locations in Pinellas County, serving collectively over 3,000 kids at 400 kids at any given day at our locations. We are making a concerted effort in the next few years, and part of our history in ending generational poverty with giving kids a chance to succeed. We serve kids between 6 years old and 18 years old. But one of the things that we also recognize is that we see that many of our kids are also being challenged in big issues around the areas of heroin and opioid addiction. Boys and Girls Clubs in the next year are going to make sure, and you'll see that we're scaling up and increasing our programs specifically around drug endangered youth by keeping clubs and kids safe after school and summer by providing them with evidence-based practice programs that come from our partners at our national office at Boys and Girls Clubs of America, specifically in Smart Moves, which is a prevention program that addresses problems such as drug and alcohol use, premature sexual activity, and also Triple Play, a plan that helps them with their mind, body, and soul. Boys and Girls Clubs know that there's a lot of work that we need to do, and we're looking forward to partnering with the state, with many of our community partners. And thank you very much for your continued support, and look forward to serving with you here in Pinellas County.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. All right, we're going to tab number 5, Tampa International Airport. Gina Evans. Give us a construction report. What's going to be closed tonight?
Well, you'll be happy to know that through the holiday season, we are suspending the blue closures. So everything will be open for the holiday season. And good morning, I am Gina Evans, Director of Government Relations for the Tampa International Airport. And we are 2 years into the 3-year expansion. Cranes are starting to come down. We've topped off the rental car center, and we have 23 of the new 65 concession locations open. Over the last 6 years, we have seen an increase of international passengers of 113%, which will only continue to grow next year with the launch of new service to Iceland in September. We are also projected to reach our previous record of 19.3 million passengers set in 2007 during this fiscal year. As we continue to grow and be a major economic engine for the region, we must be able to keep up with customer expectations. Today I come before you with 2 priorities for the upcoming session. The first, support funding transit projects in the Transportation Work Plan by HART and PSTA. HART is proposing the airporter, which would link downtown Tampa, the airport, Carillon, and downtown St. Petersburg. PSTA is proposing service from the Clearwater beaches directly to the airport. Both of these routes address customer needs and are a great first step to a transit plan for Tampa Bay that not only benefits visitors but residents as well. The second, we fully support any initiatives to address the sewage water problem here in Pinellas County. We know we lost visitors to our region in 2010 when there was a threat of oil off of our beaches, and do not want to experience the same decline again. Clean water is essential to our infrastructure and our economy, and we are happy to lend our voice to this cause. Thank you for your time today, and we look forward to working with all of you throughout the next year.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Maybe sometime you can explain to me the tourist traffic from here to Iceland. I guess it's mostly
it's an easier connection to Northern Europe. So it's like, instead of having, when you think about where Iceland's where Iceland's geographic location is, it's a 5-hour flight from here to Reykjavik, and then it's a 2-hour flight then from like there into Norway and Sweden. Plus they're doing this My Stopover thing where you can spend up to 7 days in Iceland for the same fare.
It's a lot of one-way trips. Just testing. Number 6, Ruth Power from the Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I'm not sure how to follow Iceland. My name is Ruth Power, and I'm with Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. Central Florida Behavioral Health Network is one of the managing entities that manages the funding for mental health, the dollars for mental health and substance use services for the indigent population across the state. Before I get started, I want to recognize Representative Peters. Representative Peters has taken a leadership role in working with the system of care here in Pinellas County to look at the ways that we're providing services for folks in Pinellas County, and making sure that we're efficient and that we're effective in treating the folks that are in need of our services. The other thing I'd like to say is we really appreciate and are very grateful for the legislature's work over the last legislative session, over last year, in passing the Mental Health Reform Bill, commonly known as Senate Bill 12. We really appreciate this. It's given us a clear roadmap in addressing some of the needs of the folks in our communities. Over the last several months, we've conducted a needs assessment for the community. And as you know, the governor last year focused on Pinellas County in his executive order to look at and address behavioral health needs across the state. What we found in our community needs assessment really reflected what the governor's executive order and the governor's task force showed. Our big service gaps are the need for supportive housing programs, increased availability of affordable housing programs, the need for additional short-term residential beds, an increased availability of psychiatric medical services, and the ability to coordinate services through flexible funding for high-needs, high-utilizers. In Pinellas County, the findings of the governor's executive order also identified that we really need a central receiving facility and a Marchman Act receiving facility. Neither of those are available here in Pinellas County. And basically results in difficulties in accessing proper services for those who are in mental health crisis. So today, about 1 out of 5 people lives with a mental illness. About 1 in 11 lives with substance use issues. Many of those folks are self-medicating with substances, some of their mental illness issues. Right now, the funding that we receive only serves about a quarter of those who qualify. Please keep us in mind. The funding for mental health services has been flat over the last 20 years. We know that there are difficulties ahead of us. The national average spent on behavioral health services is about $122 a person. In Florida, we're at number 50, and our funding is just at $39 a person. We would appreciate consideration in that area, and we would also appreciate the consideration of the flexibility of funding that can happen with funding through general funds. So thank you very much.
With regard to the central receiving facility and the Marchman Act facility, if you had to put a priority on those, which one would you say you need for it?
Well, through Senate Bill 12, we're beginning to look at behavioral health services as something that needs to happen really at the same time, and really needs to happen.
Long answer.
And really needs to happen in conjunction with each other. In Pinellas County, we can do that in a single facility. It doesn't have to be 2 separate facilities. It can be done efficiently in one facility.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, on the same subject, our next speaker, well, no, let's just skip one. Number 7, Jamie Perry, representing the Humane Society of the U.S. District. Well.
Hi, I'm actually a volunteer for the Humane Society. I don't actually work for them. Just wanted to make that.
Are you Jamie Perry?
Yes, I am. So at first, good morning. I want to thank Senator LaBella for holding this meeting in Tarpon Springs. I am a local resident of Tarpon Springs. I represent the broad support in this community amongst your constituents for live greyhound decoupling. I took the day off of work. Like I said, I'm a volunteer. So I'm an engineer and I work full time. So this is just, volunteer work here. There are 2 main reasons why forcing racetracks to offer dog racing is wrong. Firstly, this comes at a significant loss to Florida taxpayers and track operators, conflicts with free market principles. Secondly, greyhound racing is simply inhumane. First, I'd like to discuss the financial toll. Attendance at Florida dog tracks is down. People who go to these tracks do so to play poker or use slot machines. Greyhound racing has a small pool of gamblers left, and the reality is that they're losing this pool of gamblers is shrinking every day. Data shows that taxes and fees collected by the state for live greyhound racing has declined by 98% from 1990 to 2014, and the amount gambled at dog tracks has declined by 73% between 1990 and 2014. This is really a staggering loss. According to data the tracks filed with the state in 2014, Agile Greyhound Track, which is on the Panhandle, lost almost $2 million on dog racing, but made a profit of almost $2 million on its card room. Data such as this proves that people are attracted to the card rooms, not live dog racing. The reality is that all 12 Florida tracks are losing money on dog racing. Collectively, they're losing $40 million a year. In fact, nationwide, there is not a track in the country that is profitable on dog racing. Florida is one of only 7 states in the country that still offers live dog racing. Now, I want to discuss the second reason why I'm here. Greyhound racing is inhumane. And it's important to humane animal lovers of Florida for this to end. According to the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, there have been 62 confirmed deaths this year, 93 in 2015 and 113 in 2014. There have been some very disturbing reports recently regarding EbroTrack. 13 dogs suffered injuries requiring veterinary attention during an 11-week period between June 25th and September 5th. 11 of these 13 injuries were life-threatening and included broken legs. Since 2013, about 357 greyhound deaths have been reported at dog tracks statewide. And on average, a racing greyhound is dying in the state of Florida every 3 days. When not racing, these dogs are left in tiny cages for long periods of time without any walks or socialization. No humane dog owner would ever consider subjecting their family pets to what these dogs endure on a daily basis. Senator delegation, please consider supporting greyhound decoupling. There is broad support in this community and amongst your constituents. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak and express the community